My brother gave me vintage scotch for my promotion. I said I shared it at the office party. He went silent, then whispered, "How many people drank it?" The silence that followed my answer lasted maybe 3 seconds, but it felt like standing at cliff's edge, watching rocks fall into darkness, waiting for the sound of them hitting bottom. Ethan's face went from celebratory warmth to something I'd never seen before, something that made my stomach turn cold, even before I understood why. His mouth opened slightly, his phone slipping from his hand, onto my kitchen counter, plastic clatter that seemed too loud, and the sudden quiet. "How many people?" he repeated. His voice cracked on the last word. I laughed, because the question seemed absurd, because my older brother had just given me a $1,200 bottle of Macallan 25 for making senior vice president at Thornhill Financial, because we'd been celebrating, because nothing about this moment made sense yet. I don't know, maybe 15, 20? It was a party, man. Everyone wanted to try the fancy scotch. I watched his hand move to his mouth, watched his face drain of color, until he looked like he might throw up, right there on my Italian marble countertop. I'd been working at Thornhill Financial for 8 years, when they offered me the SVP position. 8 years of 60-hour weeks, of missing family dinners, my nephew's baseball games, building client portfolios, managing teams, proving myself over and over again. The promotion came with corner office, on the 32nd floor, significant salary bump to $340,000, plus bonuses, and equity in the firm. At 36 years old, I was the youngest SVP in company history. My wife Melissa had cried when I told her. Happy tears for once, instead of the frustrated ones. That had become more common, over the years of me prioritizing work over everything else. Ethan had called me the next morning, Thursday, 8:15 a.m., while I was driving to work. His voice on the phone was warm, proud, everything you'd want from an older brother. He insisted on taking me out for drinks, to celebrate properly, just the two of us, the way we used to, before life got complicated. We met at Copper and Oak on Saturday evening, whiskey bar downtown, where the lighting was dim, leather chairs smelled expensive, bartenders knew their single malts from their blends without needing to check labels. Ethan was already there when I arrived, sitting in corner booth with 2 glasses and a bottle I didn't recognize. He stood up when he saw me, pulled me into a hug that lasted a beat longer than usual, his hand thumping my back, hard enough to leave an impression. "There's my little brother," he said. His smile was genuine, reaching his eyes in a way that made me feel like we were kids again. SVP at 36. Dad would have been proud. The mention of our father, who died of heart attack 3 years ago, at 59, hit me harder than I expected. Ethan had taken over the business, Keller Development Group, been running it for the past 3 years, with varying degrees of success. The bottle on the table between us was Macallan 25, the label elegant and understated, in that way that screamed expensive. "This is too much," I said, but Ethan just grinned, poured 2 generous measures into crystal tumblers. "You're worth it," he said. "Besides, I've been saving this for special occasion. Your promotion qualifies." We talked for 2 hours that night, about everything and nothing, about Melissa, how marriage was harder than anyone admits, about his wife Caroline, their 2 kids, about the business, my new role, the pressure that came with success. Ethan seemed lighter than I'd seen him in months, more like the brother I remembered from childhood, before Dad died and left him with a company. He wasn't quite ready to run. When we finally left the bar, around 10:30, I was pleasantly buzzed. Ethan was smiling. He'd pressed the Macallan bottle into my hands, despite my protests. "Save it for something special," he'd said, "or don't. Either way, you earned it." The office party was the following Friday, exactly 1 week after my promotion was announced. Thornhill Financial went all out, rented entire top floor of Meridian Hotel, brought in catering from 3 different restaurants, had open bar that served everything, from domestic beer to top shelf liquor. 200 employees showed up, plus spouses and significant others. I'd brought the Macallan, because my boss, Gerald Thornhill himself, founder of the firm, Scotch enthusiast, had mentioned he'd never tried the 25-year expression. It felt like the right gesture, sharing something expensive and rare with people who'd believed in me. The bottle sat on the bar for maybe an hour before Gerald noticed it. When he did, his eyes lit up, like a kid seeing presents on Christmas morning. "Is that what I think it is?" he asked, picking up the bottle with the kind of reverence usually reserved for religious artifacts. By the time the party ended at midnight, the bottle was empty. I'd watched throughout the night as different people tried it, as Gerald poured generous measures for the CFO, head of trading, senior partners who'd voted to promote me, and now Ethan stood in my kitchen, face drained of all color, hand covering his mouth. "Oh my God," he whispered. "Oh my God, what did I do?" Full story is linked below or on my channel.